Hello and welcome everybody to today's special webinar event, Securing Agentforce Real-Time Protection for the Next Era of Salesforce. My name is Mackenzie Puttasi with SmartBrief, a future B2B company, and I'm very excited to be your moderator for today's session. In the age of AI, the ability to access and act on all of your enterprise data is more important now than ever before. However, many businesses struggle with data silos where critical information is locked away in various systems, making it difficult to create the unified customer profiles needed for personalized experiences and intelligent agentic solutions. Today on the webinar, we are going to be exploring with expert presenters how Salesforce Data Cloud's zero-copy integration with Google BigQuery solves this challenge, allowing you to unlock data across systems and directly unify it within Salesforce without complex and costly replication. As you can tell, we have a lot to cover today, and this is going to be a really great conversation, so I cannot wait to get started. But I do want to go through a little bit of housekeeping with you all just to make sure you know exactly what to do and where to go and where to ask questions. So again, my name is Mackenzie Puttasi. I'm going to be your moderator for today's session, but I've seen a number of highs, hellos, good afternoons, all those sort of good things in the chat tab already. But if you haven't quite yet made your way to the chat tab, said hi, hello, or good morning, or wherever you're from, feel free to do that on the upper right-hand side of your console and say a quick hi or a quick greeting, hola, bonjour, aloha, wherever you're from, and you want to spread some energy and excitement around with the community there. This is also a great place to give any hot takes, any personal anecdotes, any sort of hot feedback throughout today's conversation. We'd love to hear from you and love to get a sense of what you're thinking throughout the session. Also, if you have any technical issues during the session, well, this is also the perfect place to reach out and let us know if that has giving you some issues, slides loading, video, audio, anything like that. And myself and Josh, who is our webinar coordinator, running things in the background, is going to be there to make sure we can troubleshoot with you. Now, that said, a quick browser refresh usually does fix any of the major issues with those slides, video, audio loading. But if you have any persisting issues, hop in the chat tab and let us know. Now, we are going to be hosting a live Q&A session at the end of this webinar, so feel free to throw your questions in the Q&A tab, not the chat tab, but the Q&A tab throughout the session, and we're going to be pitching those to your expert presenters today and try to do our best to cover those questions. Of course, we may run out of time or there may be too many questions, but as always, we'll do our very best to make sure we get them all, and we'll be passing those off to the teams to make sure that they can follow up with you and get you any information that you'd like or you need. And of course, in the Docs tab, we've also got some additional information, some follow-ups to today's session. So we've got an announcement in there, of course, which is very exciting, overviewing how Salesforce and Google bring Gemini to Agentforce in a major partnership expansion. So go check that out. There's also a link there because Google's going to be over at Dreamforce from October 14th to 16th. So if you want to visit, if you want to book an appointment, you want to learn a little more in person, that's the perfect place to do it. And then at the top of your screen, you're going to see a contact us button there. So if you want to get in touch, book a meeting, book a demo, learn a little bit more, and get your hands dirty, get your hands involved, and see how this would work for you potentially, that is the perfect place to do it as well. And with that, well, I think it is time to get our speakers out here with us. I want to welcome to the stage Kuber Sharma, the Director of Product Management at Salesforce, as well as Parth Desai, Product Manager for BigQuery at Google Cloud. And gentlemen, with that, welcome to the stage. Excited to have you both here today. And with that, I think, Kuber, you're going to take the lead from here.
Mackenzie, and thank you everyone for joining us today. This is a really exciting topic and something very close and near and dear to my heart. As I mentioned, I'm Kuber. I'm a data professional, work with Salesforce today, but being a data practitioner for 15, 20 years. I've been a consultant, a product manager, a product marketing manager, an analyst, and everything else in the middle. So excited to talk to you about data. Before we get started, just a heads up, forward-looking statements. Google, Salesforce, both are publicly listed companies. Don't make a purchase decision for your stock based on this meeting. Based on this webinar, please do a little bit more due diligence before you do that. With that, let's get started with today's topic, which is around data. As you can see behind me, I love data. There's a lot of it. Everywhere you see around, data is growing. Somebody somewhere is recording this webinar, creating a bunch of unstructured data. But unlocking the value of this data is really essential. It's not just about having data, it's about what you can do with this data. And we know our research says that 60% of customers expect companies to use this data to give a better, more personalized experience. Like literally this morning, my wife and I were talking about how she got a great deal on a bag because she's been on that website and Instagram tracks that data and gave her the deal, a sale deal code just because she's been there. So sometimes I know a lot of us hate these Instagram ads, Meta as a partner and a customer of ours, but sometimes these ads also help us get the right price for the right thing. So people expect data to be used. But in this era of digital labor, turning this data into intelligent action is not easy. While that's what everybody wants, it's not what everybody really, really gets because data remains fragmented and genuinely difficult to activate. As I said, I've been in this business for a while, and sad to say, some of the biggest struggles that enterprise customers have had with activating their data are still the same. It's about silos. Some data is in an app, some data is in a data lake somewhere, somebody has a storage layer, somebody has a data warehouse, and they don't talk to each other. The second thing is about the unreliability of these insights because you have not looked at all the data at the same time. And finally, it's about poor actionability. Yes, there are some powerful, impactful AI driven insights, but can they be taken advantage of in the moment, at the right time, at the right place? And that's about the last mile problem of data. So, a lot of struggles with data. We at Salesforce believe we have the solution for it. We built a platform which brings together applications, data, and agents into a very deeply unified platform which delivers on our customer 360 and Agentforce vision. So you don't have to worry about toggling between data platforms, applications, and agents. They're all on the same platform. You never have to move your data here and there. But obviously, we recognize not all your data is in Salesforce. Your data could be with Google Cloud. Your data could be in BigQuery or in Cloud Spanner or something else like that. And we at Salesforce want to make sure you leverage your existing investment. Get the full value of your data, which is not within Salesforce, but maybe in Google Cloud, and how we can bring together the power of Salesforce data and Google data across your customers 360 using our unified metadata framework. Bring it all together so that you are empowering your agents with your Google data. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Underlying this platform is Data Cloud. For those who don't know, Data Cloud has started its life as a customer data platform, but now it's a lot more. I don't want to overemphasize it by calling it a lakehouse. It's not a true lakehouse, but it's something in the middle of a CDP and a lakehouse, which helps you unlock the full value of your data across the enterprise. Three big benefits of Data Cloud. It helps you create your own customer 360 profiles native to Salesforce. It helps you deliver trusted contextual data for agents and Agentforce. And it helps you connect all your data and activate apps with insights from their data with the power of the zero copy framework. So we are trying to solve the problems that we talked about in the beginning. We are trying to solve the silo problem with zero copy. We are trying to solve the trust problem with contextual trusted data. And we are trying to solve the actionability problem by creating canonical customer 360 profiles, which will help you take action from your data. How do we do this? Through the power of zero copy. Zero copy has been a foundational technology for Data Cloud. The easiest way to I'll oversimplify this, but it helps you virtualize and share data easily using only clicks and not code. So imagine if you have some data in BigQuery and you want to combine it with some data in Salesforce Sales Cloud, you can do that with ease without taking data out from anywhere. We virtualize the data and make it accessible through zero copy integration so that you can get the value of the data without moving it. Now imagine the impact on lower cost, no duplication of data, enhanced security because data is never moved, and you're not replicating it. So it's a win-win everywhere. But what it does is it accelerates insights and actions with real-time data access and delivers trusted contextual data for agents, for AI, while keeping costs low. Every time you're not copying data, you're not replicating it, you're saving a lot of money, a lot of resources, and more importantly, you're saving yourself a lot of headache of maintaining, managing, securing that data. With Data Cloud Zero Copy integration, gives you the value of accuracy, real-time integration of data, compliance with the local laws, legislation that you have to work with, and most importantly, it creates a secure layer within the Salesforce trust boundary. So you can be at rest, think about where your data is, and don't worry about it. And how does this work? An important thing about zero copy is it's not a one-way door. We believe customers may want to bring data into Salesforce Data Cloud, but also may want to take data out of Salesforce Data Cloud. So when you want to bring data in, there's two ways of doing it: query federation and file federation. Query federation gives you greater governance and access control, while file federation gives you much higher scalability and lower costs built on Apache Iceberg Foundation. Once this data brings in, there's a lot of work that happens inside. We virtualize and act in Data Cloud without moving the external data, but we do create external data lake objects, map it to a unified metadata model, and resolve customer identities. So you create that customer 360 profile. Once it's done, now you can activate it anywhere. You can take it back to Google Cloud, or you can take it to one of Salesforce applications. You can do analytics on it. You can empower your AI agents on it. So, and this is also another use case here will be all your data is already in Salesforce Data Cloud. Now you want to use that rich, secure data to enhance something which is already in Google BigQuery. That's also possible. And that's a data out part where you can share data back to external sources such as BigQuery through a simple framework called data sharing, and you activate this enrich, harmonized data at any scale using the same zero copy framework. So say goodbye to Hotel California. Your data can come in, your data can go out. And the best thing is keeping the costs low, keeping it very, very secure. What else can one ask for? But wait, there is more. There is a simple way of connecting Google BigQuery to Data Cloud. So you unify the data instantly without any replication. You're integrating data across BigQuery Data Cloud with zero copy for a consistent, always up-to-date customer view while maintaining source system governance. This also helps you govern all your data with AI-powered scalability of BigQuery. And finally, deliver contextual, reliable, and trusted data for agentic AI. Now, we are in October 1st, 2025, almost everybody is trying to figure out the agentic future, but there is no agentic AI without trusted data. And the ability to deliver reliable, relevant data to your agents while optimizing costs, that's what our partnership with Google BigQuery unlocks. At this stage, I do want to say, while we are very proud of our zero copy partnership with Google BigQuery, we continue to support the native way of data ingestion. So if you have data in cloud storage, in BigQuery, I want to say also in Cloud Spanner, we have native connectors. So if you want to bring in data to Data Cloud the normal, old-fashioned way, we don't want to come in your way. That is something which is important to you. We do want to support that. We just want to give you the option for your unique needs, whatever you need to do. Well, so far we've talked about options, impact. Now I just want to quickly walk through how Data Cloud and BigQuery work together. So imagine you're a customer, you have a big query project going on. That's your BigQuery on the left. There is currently through Compute, we support Query Federation, and you can do a live query with cached acceleration, leveraging the existing JDBC connector into external data lake object that Data Cloud will create for you. And we bring in that data, we harmonize it, the existing data in Data Cloud, enhance it, create new customer 360 profiles, enrich that data. Now, this enriched data can either go to the right side, which is to an AI agent or to business application or to analytics, or it can just go back to data cloud as to BigQuery as well through Iceberg data sharing. We'll do table scan, goes into a custodian BigQuery account, and finally back into your customer's own BigQuery account. So pretty simple way of doing this, but the good news is my friend Parth will be sharing a quick demo about how this really happens in real time in a little bit of time. Speaking of that, let's learn a little bit more about Google Cloud, and their incredible BigQuery product. Parth, I'd love to invite you to help us learn more about these products.
Yep. Thank you, Kuber. And hello, everyone. My name is Parth Desai. I'm a product manager for BigQuery at Google Cloud. Been at Google for about 6 years and in the data industry for over 10 years. So really happy to be here and talk about BigQuery and some of the things that we have been innovating over the last decade. And then we'll touch upon the zero copy integration with Salesforce. And then I'll also do a demo to show this in real life. So BigQuery is our enterprise scale data warehouse. It can, process and scan petabytes of data. We have customers who have, hundreds of petabytes of data stored on BigQuery, and they run hundreds of thousands of queries every single day on BigQuery and analyze the data. And they also run a lot of like machine learning and AI use cases on BigQuery. So it's really a data platform. It started as a data warehouse, 10 years ago, but we've put in a lot of innovations and extensions into BigQuery to really make it a completely, a unified data platform where you can run a data, wherein you can run it as a data warehouse, you can run it as a data lake house, or you can run it as a data lake, and also now you can run it as a platform to enable your AI use cases. So if you have to talk about like the kind of workloads that we support, we don't only support SQL, but you can now run Spark, Python, all the other different languages and functions within BigQuery itself. We have, BigQuery Studio notebooks, which can support Spark and Python in a more notebook-friendly environment, where you can run cells, and I think that's where the overall market is going. So we have that support in BigQuery as well. You can run geospatial data and analyze geospatial data in BigQuery with natively supported geography and geometry data types and functions. You can also, we have a very powerful backend for real-time streaming and analytics. So you can stream hundreds of gigabytes of data per second into BigQuery with very little code or almost no code. So we have pretty powerful real-time streaming backend. And then when it comes to unification, we support all types of data. So it's not just the data in BigQuery, but through BigQuery Omni, you can break down data silos and actually query data that is sitting outside of BigQuery in external sources like AWS S3 or Azure. And that is the technology that also powers a zero copy integration with Salesforce. With BigLake, you really have a way to kind of query open table formats like Iceberg, Delta Lake, or Hoodie. And this data could be sitting either in GCS or any other cloud storage platforms as well. Then we also have Analytics Hub. So Kuber touched upon a little bit on there, like how you can share data from other systems in BigQuery, and Analytics Hub is the data marketplace or the data sharing platform that we have, which enables this sharing of data, external sources into BigQuery. And then finally, we've put in a lot of work in BigQuery to make it really intelligent when it comes to machine learning and AI use cases. So we have something called BigQuery ML, which is a really simple and efficient way to create machine learning models in BigQuery, just using simple SQL queries. So you can just with a few lines of code can train a machine learning model in BigQuery and then run inference on it and predictions on it. Now, BigQuery ML is also supporting a lot of the Vertex AI models, which is a lot of the foundation models that we have in BigQuery, like Gemini and other models in our model garden. You can use those to make predictions as well through BigQuery. We have a lot of good capabilities to analyze logs data, so you can get insights and value from the logs with the SQL and analytical power of BigQuery. And then finally, we have something called BI Engine, which is a fast, low latency, in-memory SQL analysis caching layer to really power your dashboards and run those low latency, like less than 1 second level latencies. So to empower your use cases that way. So just a lot of innovation, a lot of capabilities that have been added into BigQuery over the years, and it's really completely serverless and powerful data cloud. So when it comes to the Salesforce zero copy integration, the technology that powers this is BigQuery Omni. So a lot of our customers have been asking to use BigQuery Compute, like run analytics and SQL queries on BigQuery. But it used to be that they had to move the data to BigQuery first in our own BigQuery storage. But now we have decoupled storage and compute for maximum flexibility. And instead of customers having to move the data close to the compute, with BigQuery Omni, we're actually moving compute close to wherever the data is. So we can run BigQuery compute clusters in another cloud platform like AWS or S3, so AWS or Azure, and access the data that is sitting in those customers' cloud storage buckets. And then BigQuery Omni, you can get the same powerful BigQuery query processing on other clouds as well. So when it comes to Salesforce Data Cloud, you might have data sitting in your S3 or Azure blob storage buckets, but with BigQuery Omni, now we can query them with the same powerful query engine that BigQuery has, and then bring those results back into BigQuery. So now we can also join that data with BigQuery native storage. So you might have some sales data in BigQuery, and you want to get some customer data from Salesforce. Now you can do that with cross-cloud joins by joining the data that is sitting in BigQuery with the data that you are actually querying from Salesforce. So that really kind of diminishes the data silos and gives you this unification of data across different platforms and even across clouds. So yeah, this is the workflow of how the zero copy integration works. So through BigQuery Omni, you can query the Salesforce Data Cloud in place without any data movement or any complex ETL pipelines or connectors. You can directly query the data that is sitting in Salesforce Data Cloud through your familiar BigQuery console. So if you're already an existing BigQuery customer, you can now access data that is sitting in Salesforce without having to run any ETL pipelines. Secondly, you can also join the data, as I said, across Salesforce Data Cloud and BigQuery through cross-cloud joins. So those are also supported through BigQuery Omni. And then finally, you can use something called cross-cloud materialized views to incrementally keep your data fresh. And then these materialized views can be used across in the GCP ecosystem with tools like Vertex AI and so on. So if you have data that is frequently getting updated or changing, then materialized views gives you that flexibility to have a fresh view of your data in BigQuery and will continuously keep it fresh based on the changes that are occurring on the base table in Salesforce Data Cloud. So with this, these are the few things that we are enabling with in-place querying with BigQuery Omni. You get a single pane of glass, right? With cross-cloud joins, you can really have cross-cloud analytics across BigQuery and Salesforce and other systems. And through cross-cloud materialized views, you can have fresh, consistent view of your data, even without running any ETL pipelines. And then finally, data sharing with Analytics Hub enables secure data sharing at scale. So we have a very seamless and serverless platform to share the data, and that is through Analytics Hub. So you can find your data sets very easily through it. It has a search built in it, and then it has a lot of the metadata around what this table does, the business context around it, so you're working with the right data. And so with all of this, we can really empower 3 use cases. You can really accelerate your BI and advanced analytics in BigQuery. You can do marketing analytics with your ads data from Salesforce, and you can do predictive analytics with Vertex AI, which is our AI platform on GCP, and generate predictive insights. And then you can push those insights back into Salesforce, or you can query those insights from Salesforce. So it's like this closed loop and a closed loop integration between Salesforce and BigQuery that you can seamlessly query data from either of the two. So zero copy, has use cases across any industry, right? If you think about any retail customer, they might want to unify and join, their in-store purchase data, which is sitting in BigQuery, with online browsing and social media data that is sitting in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud, to get a single source of truth for customer insights and then personalized recommendations. As Kuber talked about his wife, this is exactly what a retail company would like to do, is like give personalized recommendations and personalized deals to the customers based on based on the social media patterns or other purchase history, right? If you think about manufacturing automotive, they might want to capture IoT data, which is sitting in BigQuery with customer data in Data Cloud, to customize the in-car experience and execute predictive maintenance or many other use cases like identifying customers for upsell and cross-sell opportunities. But yeah, the possibilities are endless, and it has relevant use cases across any industry. And so we would love to know more about any use case that you might have. So feel free to share that in the Q&A section, and you can also reach out to us. So I'll hand it over back to Kuber to talk about a few customer success stories, and then I can come back and go through the demo.
Thank you, Parth. This was so helpful for me to understand. And I have to say, as an industry observer, I've been looking at the growth and success of BigQuery for more than 10 years now. I remember the time when it was just primarily a DW for ad data. From that start, look at where it has come to. Oh my goodness, what a great success, and proud to be a partner. So, as we say, it's great to have technology. It's the real world stuff which makes it real. So, excitingly, I have two specific customer use cases which will help you understand the impact of this integration of using BigQuery Data Cloud together with Zero Copy and what our customers have been able to do. First one, Harvey Nichols. If you're not from Europe, it's one of the biggest departmental stores in the UK and a very happy customer of ours. As you know, an iconic luxury retailer, and they wanted to do more personalized loyalty experience. When you are at the highest end of retail, your customers are genuinely very demanding. But there was a lot of high volume web behavior data that Harvey Nichols had in BigQuery. But they had a lot of transactional data and loyalty rewards data in other places. Now, this creates the classic problem of data silos. These silos, this fragmentation, makes it difficult for the data team at Harvey Nichols to truly personalize their customers' experiences. They couldn't always do fully complete customer 360 profiles or unified profiles, and that limited segmentation, hyper-personalization, or even some of the personalized campaigns, and also limited the accurate impact or measurement of their loyalty program. So they came to us, we brought together the experts from Google team, from Salesforce team, and they were able to integrate Salesforce Data Cloud with Google BigQuery with Zero Copy integration. And they unified rich behavioral data with loyalty data, with transaction records, without duplicating this data. As you mentioned, the biggest benefit of Zero Copy is keeping the cost low and maintaining security and sanctity by not replicating data. Now, with Loyalty Cloud, Marketing Cloud, MuleSoft integrated, Harvey Nichols' marketing teams can deliver tiered benefits and personalized messaging across online as well as in-store channels. So the more you personalize your customer's experience, the better it is. And the proof is in the pudding. We have a great quote from them about creating that incredible unified 360-degree view, but also this number, I love this. Within 12 months, they were able to have 31% increase in loyalty revenue. 31% increase, just because they were able to understand their customer better and serve them better. The more you understand your customer, the better you'll serve them, the more they'll be able to take advantage of your products and services. And that's the magic of hyper personalization powered by Google BigQuery and Salesforce Data Cloud. So that's one. The second story is in a totally different domain. Unfortunately, this is a customer who does not want their name to be brought out. So I'm just like gonna anonymize them, but some of you can maybe guess what this is. So imagine this is a global telecom provider, one of the biggest in Latin America. They have 35 million active users across many, many countries in South America. They had the classic challenge of managing and activating customer data in an integrated and agile way. Like a lot of other large enterprise customers, they had different organizations supporting different countries. That makes their job even tougher. However, the customers may be moving borders and their experiences may be changing. So with their customers interacting across multiple touch points, such as call center, social media, messaging platforms, achieving a consistent and a relevant, timely interaction required a very connected approach. Like I don't want to talk about my experiences with my telecom provider, but there's been ups and downs. I bet a lot of us can talk about our internet and telecom providers. Like sometimes it's going great, but when it's not going well, it's really not going well. So you always need to keep your customer happy. What this particular company did to address the challenges was they implemented Salesforce Data Cloud integration with Google BigQuery to build a unified data foundation. Their team created a reliable and a centralized customer view, the canonical customer 360 view that supports a real-time personalization through Marketing Cloud. So when somebody picks up the phone and calls them, the profile that the person who's picking up has all the information about the customer in real time, their usage, their marketing experience, their sales experience, and their service experience at the same time. And through this 360-degree approach to that particular customer, that has enabled this telecom company to optimize its engagement strategy with smarter data-driven interactions. So every time you're giving them a marketing experience, it's aligned with their sales, surveys, and user experience as well. So the better you understand your customer, the better you can serve them. And I know last time we had a massive number growth in 31%. This one is more about retention. Churn rate is something telecom providers obsessively care about. So 5% increase in their churn was incredible opportunity and growth for this particular company. As you said, 35 million active users. So 5% actually means 1.75 million. That's a lot of customers they saved by personalizing that experience through the power of Google BigQuery and Salesforce Data Cloud. Now, these were just two of the customers that we've talked about. However, I can say with confidence there's a lot more there. But to see how this works in real time, I would love to invite Parth back for a quick demo of what does this experience looks like. Over to you, Parth.
Yeah, thanks, Kuber. So let me share my screen and we'll walk you through a live demo. It's exciting. All right, so now let's take a look at this in real life and see how this works. So we'll take an example of securely sharing this list of datasets from Salesforce Data Cloud with BigQuery while ensuring data integrity and privacy. Now let me show you what actions the Salesforce admin needs to take first. So first, your Salesforce admins will need to go to your Salesforce UI and go to the data shares page. This is what it looks like. In here, we'll first create a new data share. So you click on new and then type a name for the data share, the API name, and some description of what this data share will contain. So in this case, it will contain online store information, including order history, store information, product catalog, and orders. Next, we'll include the objects that you want to share. So we'll select a few objects here, like cases, products, and so on, and then click on Save. So now your data share is created. Next step would be to create a data share target. So the target is the destination where you want to share this data share. So in here, you would go to create a new data share target and then select the connection. In this case, we want to share it with BigQuery. So you select BigQuery as a data share target. You add some descriptions and labels to the data share target and the Google Cloud principal. So this is important. This is the user or group, Google Cloud group, that you want to share this data share with. So it could be a Google group or an individual user or a service account. You click on save, and then you'll need to authenticate your identity with single sign-on. Once you do that, now the data share target is created. Now we'll go back to the data share and click on the data share that we wanted to share. You'll see all the objects that have been included in the data share. And the next step would be to link this data share with the data share target. So we'll click on link data share target, select the data share target that we just created, the BigQuery one, and then click on save. So that's it. You now have created a data share and linked it with the right data share target. Next step would be to go into BigQuery and explore this data. So once you share this data to your Google Cloud app admin or data engineer in Google Cloud, they'll go into the BigQuery console and they'll be able to see these data sets. So this is what the Google BigQuery console looks like. This is the home page for Google BigQuery. The admin or the data engineer would go into add data and then click on Salesforce. And here they'll see all the data shares that have been shared with them. And they can also search. So this is the Analytics Hub, which is the data sharing marketplace on BigQuery. And in here you can search for listings that have been shared with you. And once you click on this, you also see more details about the listing. For example, what this data set entails. It includes information about customers, products, orders, who is the primary contact for this data share, who is the publisher, who is the provider. So you'll be able to see all of these details, and so you can build some trust in your data and make sure that this is the right data set to work with. So then you click on add data set to a project. Project is the highest level resource for BigQuery, and so that's where all the billing and all the resource provisions are happening. So you select the right project, and then you give a name to the dataset. So you can give whatever name you wish, and then click on save. So now you have a linked dataset that is created. So you'll see here, enter your detail. That's the linked dataset. You'll see a different icon for this than a regular dataset, which is a BigQuery native dataset. So the linked dataset is just a logical representation of the dataset and the tables inside it, but the storage is actually an external source. In this case, Salesforce Data Cloud is a source. So now you can go click on the dataset and see all the different tables and their schemas that are present in the dataset that have been shared with you. So you can see the online orders table in here and the schema of this table. And then you also have this other data set, which is the offline point of sales orders tables. So you can also look at that. And these are the point of sale orders table. And now you might want to kind of join across these two tables and perform that cross cloud join to get the total number of sales orders. So we'll go into query and run a query to basically find the total sales across online and point of sales. The online sales data coming from Salesforce Data Cloud, which is in AWS region, AWS US East 1, and the point of sale orders data coming from offline stores, offline channels is stored natively in BigQuery, in a BigQuery region. For example, it could be US Central 1. So now we'll run this query, which combines or takes a total of all the sales and joins the data from the AWS region in Salesforce Data Cloud with the GCP region to get the total amount of sales orders. So you run the query and you see the results of the query. And now you can go in here and explore the results with Looker Studio or Google Sheets or a Colab Notebook. In this case, we'll explore this with Looker Studio. Looker is our business intelligence platform on GCP. You can get all these custom dashboards and reports generated, and it's also real time. You can also ask questions with it, about the data using Gemini, which is natural language questions, and it will automatically generate reports for you. So that's about it. I will hand it over back to Kuber to wrap up. Or actually, there might be one more thing that I want to talk about. Let me go and share the slides again. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so we'll also be at Dreamforce, which is Salesforce conference. We'll have a booth there for Google Cloud, a dedicated booth. where we'll show some of our innovations similar to what I just showed and some other demos there. So looking forward to see you there on October 14 to 16 this year. And this is a QR code if you want to scan and sign up for Dreamforce.
Thank you, Parth. I will definitely be there at the Google booth at Dreamforce. It's going to be the enterprise software party of the year. Me and my 80,000 best friends will be there celebrating. There's a lot going on. Salesforce and Google has a big partnership to bring Gemini to Agentforce as well in a massive partnership expansion. You can use this QR code to learn even more about it. So, a lot of goodness. I hope to see you all. Look me up, look up Parth. We'll both definitely be there in person if you want to talk more about this. With that, I'm going to take a deep breath and open up to any question and answers. We saw a bunch of questions coming in throughout the process. I'd love for us to be able to answer all of them.
All right, gentlemen. I've been keeping an eye on all the questions. We've had quite a few come in over the last little bit. So feel free to sort of both answer, or if a question makes sense for one of you more than another, feel free to take the lead. But we'll do our best to address as many as we have here. So first one out of the gate I've got is, how much faster will we get customer data if we stop copying it using traditional methods?
So I can take a stab at that answer. So it's less about speed. It really depends on the volume of your data. But think about it, instead of an always on ingestion, you just have a zero copy integration. So it's just effective. So think about the time of a person managing it. Think about the resources of moving data. Think about the cost of moving data. Some platforms may have an egress fee as well. Think about managing a data twice. So with those factors, it's going to be so much faster and easier and cheaper for you to simply work with this data through zero copy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for fielding that one. Next question, also about zero copy here, is, will zero copy help us reduce our storage costs by eliminating duplicate copies of our data? I know that's a pesky problem where we all have a bunch of data in the broom closet. So what do you think on that?
The simple answer is yes. That's the easiest answer. Like, you don't have to maintain your copy of data. We talked about the Harvey Nichols example. Harvey Nichols maintains their, like, I want to say billions of rows of data in BigQuery. They just leverage zero copy to take advantage of their data inside Data Cloud. They never move any of the data physically, which is such a big win. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Another one I've got here is this going to be sort of a competitive advantage with, when, if we're using zero copy, are we able to make decisions faster than our competitors? If you can shed some light on that.
Parth, do you want to take that one?
Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, sorry, Parth. So essentially, the question was, if someone's using zero copy, if they've gone through the process of setting this up, are they going to be at a competitive advantage, and can they make decisions quicker by having this data at their hands or at their fingertips?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the whole idea for this is to kind of break down data silos and get insights from your data quickly, and also get the full picture of the data. For example, customer 360 or patient 360 use cases, you can build a really good 360 model, the patient 360 model, using all the different data sources where the patient data or the customer data is sitting. So yes, absolutely. Like, I think that's a very pretty important use case, that you get the business insights quickly and also in a more accurate and a well-rounded manner, utilizing all the different data sources that you have at your hands.
Perfect. All right, a couple more questions here. One is asking, how does zero copy ensure the customer data we use for marketing and service is always 100% accurate and up to date?
I think that's goes into the trust into the system. We have built a lot of we built a lot of focus to like make sure this works really well. We leverage the industry standard Apache Iceberg framework to make sure it's always up to date. Anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it basically just it is querying the source of your data directly. So as long as the source is up to date, the query in the BigQuery will reflect the most up to date data.
Perfect. Okay, I had a question that just popped in from Andrea. That they've asked, do you have recommendations for when to leverage Looker Studio for data analytics versus Salesforce?
I'll let Path answer this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Looker Studio is a business intelligence platform. So if you have a need to kind of have these different dashboards that you need to share with different stakeholders or the C-level executives and so on, then I think Looker Studio is a good platform to kind of aggregate the data and show it in a more business-friendly manner. I think maybe Kuber can talk more about what data analysis tools Salesforce has. But yeah, I think Looker is something that is very deeply integrated with BigQuery. As I showed, it's just a simple icon from BigQuery that can take you to Looker Studio. It's if most of your data is sitting in BigQuery, then you can bring that data, join the data with Salesforce, and analyze them both together through Looker Studio.
Perfect. Thanks for giving that comparison and how that all fits together, Parth. Okay, we may only have time for one or two more questions. So if you're out there in the audience and you have a question you haven't asked yet, feel free to try to slip it in now. We'll do our best to address it before we wrap up here. But next one in the queue I've got is, if the data stays in Google Cloud, is it still secure and governed by our company's existing rules?
Yes. Actually, it's about data cloud. So let me add, Path, how about you give the actual answer?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, like we are not bringing any data. We are not moving any data from your Salesforce Data Cloud. We are keeping the data in Salesforce Data Cloud and still querying that from BigQuery, right? Just bringing the results over to BigQuery. Unless you like materialize it, then you're bringing the data over. But otherwise, the whole concept of zero copy is that we're not actually moving the data. We're just running a federated query on top of the existing data.
Awesome. All right. Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up here. So, of course, I want to give you a minute to give a final sign off. If you want to leave the audience with anything. Ebenezer is saying, hey, Mackenzie, please share the Dreamforce party invite. So, Kuber, Parth, that might be on you to set that up.
Share the, Mackenzie, if you can share that QR code from the Google presence, we'll definitely have an event or two just for you. But yeah, do look us up. We're excited to host you guys all, excited about Dreamforce, excited about this partnership, and excited about what we can all come together to do, solve the canonical age-old data silo problem. So thank you again for joining this. If you're watching live or through a recorded session, this is near and dear to my heart, so I'm just excited to talk about it. I hope to be able to talk more about this. Thanks again.
All right. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you at Dreamforce or on another webinar again soon. It's been great to pick your brains, to hear from you, and learn from you today. All right, everyone out there in the audience, if you haven't yet, well, this is definitely prime time to hop over there. Make sure you grab that link to Dreamforce. Make sure you set up an appointment, say hi, say hello, and make sure that you get over there and don't waste that opportunity. On top of that, of course, you've got a little bit more information about the partnership there linked in the Docs tab, so the Salesforce and Google partnership. You definitely want to check that out. And if you guys just want to cut to the chase, say hi, learn more, set up a live demo, or have a deeper conversation about this, again, at the top of your screen, you should see a blue Contact Us button, and you can get in touch and make sure you are first in line to have a conversation and learn more about this in the near future here. And with that, everyone, I am going to wrap things up. So we've got just 1 or 2 more minutes. So again, I stress, check out that Docs tab. Make sure you hop in there, grab those links before we wrap up. We do have a quick survey that's popping up in the next few seconds here. That is going to go where the chat docs Q&A has been. This is just to make sure We get a little bit of feedback from you, learn if the information you're getting is exactly what you're looking for, how the platform is looking, what sort of presentation style you're enjoying, and making sure that we keep these webinars at the absolute best level they can be, and make sure we keep improving so that you get exactly what you're looking for during these sessions going forward. And with that, everyone, I'm going to do a quick farewell. I want to give a final round of thank yous to everybody. So again, on behalf of the I messed that up again. The Smart Brief team, I want to thank Salesforce and Google Cloud for making this event possible. I want to give a giant thank you to both of our speakers for being here, for sharing their knowledge with us, giving us some great information. And of course, having that live demo just makes all the difference. I think seeing things in action really gives us a sense of how things work and puts it in our minds how it would work for us. So I hope you've also had that experience, because I definitely enjoyed that and I really appreciated it. So, and again, my final thank you goes out to all of you in the audience. I imagine you're all feeling excited, pumped up, ready to implement some of what you just learned and take advantage of what you've seen today in your organizations, and keep innovating, keep moving forward. I know it's a busy world and everyone is competing for your attention, so I hope you feel that you're walking away with some real value here today. I know I feel that way, and I want to thank you all again for choosing to be here and taking a little time out of your busy schedules. And with that, everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to send you off. Hope you had an absolutely fantastic time. And until we see you all at Dreamforce, have an absolutely fantastic rest of your days. Take care, everyone.